How much are you willing to sacrifice to protect the ones you love? For Itachi Uchiha, the answer was everything. His career, his reputation, even his family. This is a story about the downfall of a shinobi and his entire clan. This is the Uchiha Massacre. The Uchiha clan was one of the most powerful and respected families in Konoha. Known for their mastery of the Sharingan, a Kekkei that turned perception into a weapon, the clan held a unique position in the village. Most Uchiha served as officers in Konoha's police force, maintaining order in the village under the leadership of Fugaku Uchiha, the clan's formidable leader. But even among the skilled Uchiha, one name stood out: Itachi Uchiha. At only 13, Itachi was hailed as a prodigy, the pride of his family and the hope of the clan's future. Itachi's brilliance was evident from the start. Even as a young child, he displayed an intellect and maturity far beyond his years. At the age of 4, he witnessed the Third Shinobi War, a conflict that left a lasting impression on him. Witnessing the horrors of the battlefield drove Itachi to an unyielding determination to understand the world, protect those in it. His genius was undeniable. At the age of 7, he graduated the Ninja Academy in just 1 year, effortlessly outshining his peers. But this brilliance came at a price. While others admired him, they struggled to relate to him. Despite this, Itachi never showed arrogance or contempt. He treated everyone with a quiet respect that only added to his mystique. Itachi's rise continued steadily. At 10, he passed the grueling Chunin exams. At 11, he joined the Anbu, becoming one of the youngest recruits in history. By age 13, he was an Anbu captain, a role reserved for the most elite and trusted shinobi. His rapid rise left no room for conventional childhood. While others his age played, laughed, and formed bonds, Itachi bore the weight of responsibilities far beyond his years. His family was his anchor, but also one of his greatest burdens. His father, Fugaku, saw Itachi as the future of the Uchiha and had high expectations for him. Fugaku's pride was obvious, but it came with a distance that made their relationship more formal than warm. Mikoto, his mother, was a softer presence. She was supportive and loving, but often struggled to bridge the emotional gap between Itachi and his grueling life as a shinobi. And then there was Sasuke. 7 years old and full of energy, Sasuke adored his older brother, yet that admiration was tinged with insecurity. Living in Itachi's shadows, Sasuke yearned for their father's approval, something that always seemed reserved for his elder sibling. Itachi, ever perceptive, noticed this imbalance. In quiet moments, he would urge the father to spend more time with Sasuke, hoping to shield his younger brother from the same weight of expectations that burdened him. Itachi's dedication to being a shinobi left little room for any relationships. Despite this, he managed to form a deep friendship with Shisui Uchiha. Shisui was one of the few people who truly understood Itachi. Together, they shared the dream of a peaceful world. From the outside, Itachi seemed untouchable. He was the perfect shinobi and son, the shining hope of the Uchiha. But everything changed when his best friend, Shisui Uchiha, was found dead. It was a bright, sunny morning when police officers discovered the lifeless body of 16-year-old Shisui Uchiha in the Nakano River. Beside him was a note, its ink smeared but still legible. "I am tired of these missions. At this rate, there's no future for Uchiha, or for me. I can't run counter to the path any longer." Shisui's death shocked everyone who knew him. There had been no signs of distress, no warning that he was struggling. Like his best friend Itachi, Shisui was seen as a once-in-a-generation talent, a shinobi destined for greatness. Officially, the note was confirmed to be in Shisui's handwriting, and his death was ruled a suicide. But many within the police force doubted the conclusion and suspected foul play. Suspicion soon fell on Itachi. As Shisui's closest friend, Itachi was probably one of the last people to see him alive. Adding to the unease, Itachi's behavior had been unusual in recent weeks. He had distanced himself from the clan, frequently skipping important meetings, citing undue obligations. Most concerning of all, both Itachi and Shisui had missed the most recent clan meeting, the very day Shisui disappeared. When questioned by the police, Itachi's reaction was unexpected. For the first time, the calm and collected shinobi showed a different side, one of anger and disdain. In a swift and overwhelming display of strength, he attacked the officers who accused him. Itachi denounced the Uchiha Clan, calling them arrogant and doomed. Itachi only stopped when Sasuke, his younger brother, begged him to stop. After regaining his composure, Itachi bowed in apology, but firmly denied any involvement in Shisui's death. Despite his denial, the suspicion against him only grew. From that moment on, Itachi became even more withdrawn. His relationship with his father, Fugaku, grew cold and strained, and the two stopped speaking altogether. Fugaku, once proud of his eldest son, began to view him with suspicion. Itachi's growing distance also affected Sasuke. Once the center of Itachi's attention, Sasuke now found himself relegated to the periphery. The father, wary of Itachi's influence, instructed Sasuke to stop idolizing his older brother. Still, Sasuke held out hope that things would eventually return to normal. But normal was no longer an option. Itachi would soon make choices that would ensure that nothing would ever be the same again. One summer evening, Sasuke was out late, training hard to earn his father's approval. When he returned to the Uchiha compound, something felt deeply wrong. The streets, usually filled with chatter and laughter, were eerily quiet. The air was heavy with an unshakable tension. As Sasuke walked deeper into the compound, he was confronted with a disturbing sight. Familiar faces, neighbors, friends, elders, lay lifeless on the ground. Panicked, he sprinted toward his home, desperate to find his family and make sure that they were safe. As he approached the house, he heard his mother scream, begging him to stay away. Then, silence. Sasuke hesitated before he opened the door to his parents' room. The sight inside was horrifying. His parents lay dead on the ground, their blood pooling on the wooden floor. Towering over them was Itachi, a blood-stained sword still in his hand. Sasuke stood still as he struggled to make sense of what he was seeing. When he asked Itachi for an explanation, Itachi admitted the unthinkable. He had killed their parents, along with everyone else in the clan. Itachi claimed it was to test the limits of his power, to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan, a rare and powerful dojutsu requiring the sacrifice of someone close to him. He confirmed that he had killed Shisui for this purpose. His tone was devoid of any remorse. As if his confession wasn't cruel enough, Itachi activated the Sharingan and trapped Sasuke in a terrifying genjutsu. In an instant, Sasuke was forced to relive the massacre in excruciating detail. Over and over again, he saw the murders of his clan, the final moments of his parents, and the brutality unleashed by his brother. Each repetition etched the horror deeper into his mind. After the genjutsu ended, Sasuke collapsed on the ground. Itachi, now towering over his broken brother, declared him weak and unworthy. He told Sasuke to grow stronger and to seek him out when he was ready to fight. Itachi turned and walked away, leaving Sasuke amid the dead bodies of his family. Sasuke was left traumatized by Itachi's betrayal. He couldn't reconcile his kind brother with the cold killer who had torn his world apart. Why would Itachi, the person he idolized the most, commit such a cruel act? In the aftermath of the Uchiha clan, the world seemed to accept a simple narrative. Itachi Uchiha had betrayed his clan, single-handedly murdered his family, and fled Konoha to pursue the life as a rogue ninja. Yet for those who dared to look closer, troubling inconsistencies began to emerge. Gaps in the story that left more questions than answers. One of the most glaring doubts surrounded the sheer scope of the massacre. The Uchiha were not just an ordinary clan, they were one of the most powerful and respected families in Konoha, known for the mastery of the Sharingan and exceptional combat skills. Could Itachi, even with his prodigious abilities, have truly killed every single member of the clan alone? The massacre included skilled shinobi and clan elders, people who would not have gone down without a fight. The logistical challenge of wiping out an entire compound in a single night, unnoticed by the village elite's forces, seemed almost unsurmountable for just one person. Not long after the massacre, Itachi resurfaced as a member of the Akatsuki, a shadowy organization known for its dangerous and unpredictable members. The Akatsuki's reputation stood in stark contrast to Itachi's upbringing and values. For someone who had once spoken of peace and demonstrated unwavering loyalty to the village, joining such a group felt profoundly out of character. This abrupt shift raised doubts. Why would a prodigy who had devoted his life to the Hidden Leaf suddenly abandon everything to join an organization notorious for its criminal activities? Another unsettling inconsistency lay in the village response, or lack thereof. Despite the enormity of the crime, the Anbu and other village authorities made no apparent effort to capture Itachi or to bring him to justice. While he was officially declared a rogue ninja, there was no widespread manhunt or coordinated attempt to track him down. This inaction was highly unusual. Konoha had the resources and manpower to pursue even the most elusive of fugitives. Yet, for reasons unexplained, the leadership seemed content to let Itachi go. This silence raised uncomfortable questions. Was the village hiding something? Did they know more about the massacre than they let on? Perhaps the most disturbing detail of all was the condition of the victims. When the bodies were examined, it was discovered that the eyes of many Uchiha clan members were missing. The Sharingan, being a powerful and converted dojutsu, had long been a symbol of the clan's strength and a target for those who sought its abilities. The removal of these eyes introduced an unsettling implication. Someone had harvested them. While Itachi admitted to the killings, he never addressed the missing eyes. This omission cast doubt on the narrative and suggested the possibility of another party being involved. Who had taken the eyes, and for what purpose? As these inconsistencies piled up, they painted a far more complex picture than the one presented in the immediate aftermath of the massacre. Was Itachi truly the sole perpetrator, or was there more to the story? Why did the village remain silent, and who took the Sharingan of the victims? One thing was clear: the truth about the massacre and about Itachi was far from simple. The real story was buried deep within the secret archives of Konoha. The documents revealed a far more complex and infinitely more tragic truth than anyone could have imagined. The massacre was not a sudden betrayal, but a carefully orchestrated operation. To uncover the truth, we must circle back to another tragedy: the Nine-Tails attack on Konoha. The attack claimed countless lives, including the fourth Hokage, and left the village scarred. The true culprit was never found. Many in the village unfairly blamed the Uchiha for the disaster. They believed the clan's Sharingan played a role in controlling the beast. As a result, the Uchiha were placed under surveillance and banished to the outskirts of the village, further isolating them. The clan's growing discontent led some leaders in Konoha to believe that an uprising was imminent. Rather than seek dialogue or reconciliation, the leaders made a grim decision. The Uchiha clan had to be eliminated. At the heart of the operation was Dando Shimura, a high-ranking village official and leader of the Root, a secret subdivision of the Anbu. Known for his ruthless methods and his belief in sacrificing the few for the greater good, Danzo saw the Uchiha not only as a threat, but as an opportunity. Classified documents later revealed his agenda, collecting Sharingan from fallen Uchiha to strengthen himself and the root. Caught in the crossfire was Itachi Uchiha. Only 13 years old, Itachi was already a member of the elite Anbu, his loyalty to Konoha unquestioned. The village leaders presented him with an ultimatum. He could prevent a civil war by destroying his own clan, or he could refuse and watch Konoha fall into chaos. The weight of that decision would have crushed anyone, but Danzo added an even more cruel condition. If Itachi refused, Sasuke would be killed, along with the rest of the clan. Faced with this terrible choice, Itachi made the ultimate sacrifice. He chose what he believed to be the lesser of two evils. To protect Sasuke and to keep peace in the village, Itachi agreed to the mission. Itachi Uchiha's life was a paradox, a dual existence defined by love and sacrifice, peace and destruction, heroism and villainy. The world knew only one face of Itachi, the cold-blooded traitor who slaughtered his clan and fled to join a criminal organization. But behind that mask lay another truth, one hidden from the world's eyes. The other face of Itachi Uchiha was that of a protector, a young man who bore the unbearable weight of his village's sins and sacrificed his soul to safeguard its future. His actions were born from a profound love for Konoha, and above all, for his younger brother, Sasuke. Even after the massacre, Itachi's duality persisted. As a member of the Akatsuki, he worked tirelessly to ensure Konoha's safety, passing intelligence to the village, undermining the organization's plans. Konoha too wore two faces. It prided itself on being a leader of peace and unity, yet it had orchestrated the annihilation of an entire clan out of fear and mistrust. The same village that celebrated heroes like the Hokage quietly turned a blind eye to the price of its peace. A price paid in the blood of the Uchiha and the shattered soul of a boy who had given everything for the cause. The story of Itachi Uchiha forces us to confront uncomfortable truth. Can peace ever be achieved without sacrifice? And is it justifiable to destroy the few to protect the many? In the end, Itachi's two faces were a reflection of the world he lived in. A world that demanded heroes but created villains. A world that sought peace but bred conflict. A world where sometimes the greatest acts of love are the ones that leave us irreparably broken.